and welcome to another Grand Theft Auto 6 source where we are dissecting and taking our time with every single scene in the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer number 2. In this scene, we are seeing immediately after getting Lucia out of jail, Jason and Lucia have wasted no time. They're immediately robbing a bank. So this is another wonderful scene. I think every scene is a wonderful scene, but this one is a wonderful scene. This is showing a couple things, so let's take a look at every single one of them. The first and foremost, very clear, very apparent, the question has been, are bank robberies, are heists going to be something that's going to return from Grand Theft Auto 5? Obviously, that was sort of the cornerstone of the gameplay of GTA 5. It was sort of promoted that way as well. That's what this game is about. Bank robberies, heists, big jobs, the big scores, things like that. And what is this game going to do in response to that? It appears we're going to have something of heists back again, at the very least, bank robberies. So here we have Jason and Lucia sticking up a bank. Now, of course, the other question is this happening maybe before she has gone into jail? Maybe this is what gets her into jail. This could be a sort of prologue scene that we don't know the order of these scenes, so this could be a prologue. But assuming that this is immediately after getting out of jail, Jason and Lucia are right back at their old habits. So we see Lucia here standing up on the counter. She has sunglasses and a mask on. Very clearly, she's in charge. She says, "Get your hands above your head." She is pointing her gun at these two bank employees. If we want to zoom in here on the screen, we can see that it is called the Sin Frontera National Bank. Sin Frontera actually means no borders in Spanish. Don't know if that means anything. We've seen other banks in GTA before. We've seen, the Maze Bank and things like that from GTA 5. This is a completely new bank to GTA 6. So this is, I guess, a Vice City local bank. On the screen there, we can see it says security lockdown in effect. So this, again, it sort of asks us, what is the role of certain people on your crew? If you have a crew, like we had in GTA 5, are there going to be crew members that can, maybe unlock security features that can give you more time? Some of the leaks in 2022 gave us an indication as to how the police respond to certain crimes, whereas you can see, police response in the next 5 minutes, they'll be here soon, but not immediately. So to give you some time, would having a, particular crew member give you more time, allow you to unlock these systems, allow you to unlock the safe, if we're going to do safe cracker, things like that. So if heists are back, does that mean that heist crews are also back? So again, these are all kinds of questions that we don't know. I've mentioned this before, and we're going to mention it again. I just want to point out on this this bank employee here, the sweat tech. I'm going to mention it. Look, it's glistening. It's beautiful. It's shining bright. I just think it's delightful that much technology and attention has gone into something as, reasonably forgettable as sweat. But clearly, they're not forgetting it. So this is Lucia doing her job, scaring some bank employees. Then we cut over here to Jason, and Jason says, "You stay." Which, again, what does that mean? Does it mean that we need someone to do something in the bank, or does that mean that we have things like hostages? That's not that much fun, in my opinion, but we'll obviously see how that will make of an effect. The beautiful lighting in this scene, we have sort of this washing over of red. We have such depth. We can see out to the streets there. Such a big, huge building. Details on the walls, details on Jason's head. Again, it's these little details that's what we're looking at. That's the whole point of these videos, is we're zooming in. We're taking a look at all the details. There's an empty tissue box. There's a bottle of Purell. There's an empty or a coffee cup there. Little things like that. Someone has some files open on the computer. Little things like that are just a lot of fun to take a look at. I love those little details. As I've mentioned before, I'm playing GTA 5 again just to sort of say goodbye to it in a sense. And I'm noticing the little details in that game as well. We often overlook these details. We often don't appreciate them for what they're worth. And they're worth quite a lot. They add so much texture and so much depth to the world that we often drive so fast through. If you look over here, there's a big stack of folders. There's a pair of eyeglasses down on the shelf. Little things like that are just so overlookable, and we're just taking our time to actually pay attention to them, to enjoy them, to appreciate them, to really just say, Look at that. Isn't that something? We have a wedding band on this guy's arm. In the next hand, we have a wedding band on that guy's hand. Looks like an independent piece of jewelry. We've seen that multiple times with other pieces of jewelry in our other characters, Jason's necklace, things like that. Independent little pieces of jewelry that get put onto NPCs. The clothing technology looks like it's bunching up on this guy's arm. It looks like it's sort of ruffling there. We're seeing such incredible evolutions and great strides being made in clothing tech on top of characters. For so long in video games, it was so difficult to create clothing that was a different piece on top of a character's body, so often so that the character's clothing was their body. And so now that we're seeing this kind of change, we're seeing a lot of developers do this, but it's so impressive when it's done very, very well like this, where there's no clipping through, there's no problems with the physics of it. It's really, really impressive to see. So this is just another example of that. So it's once again a very, very short little 1-second scene. A lot of questions come up from it, but I think it's really exciting to imagine that we will continue the idea of having heists. We'll be able to, set crews and be able to choose our way through it. I mean, in GTA 5, we had somewhat of a choice between how we dealt with heists, but this looks like we're actually going to have even more freedom in what we want to do, how we want to approach certain jobs. And this is just, it kind of gets you excited to think what's sort of the average gameplay of this game. What are some of the missions going to look like? And clearly Jason and Lucia, cannot be stopped. We see Jason wearing a bulletproof vest there, so obviously armor. These are sort of generic things that you would assume would come back. He's wearing armor, he's wearing a mask. In GTA 5, you didn't really have the opportunity to sort of disguise yourself, but that came in Red Dead Redemption 2. You could wear a bandana, and if you took the bandana off, it was harder for the law people to find you. So possibly that could be something. Maybe if you're wearing a disguise, you're wearing a mask, you take the mask off, it's harder to identify you. So that'll make a lot of difference, and we can see how that kind of works. So that's really all there is for this video. It's a really short one. It's a really short clip. It has a lot of information in it and has a lot of implication. Heists might be back. Robbing banks might be back. Well, clearly. And if this isn't just some sort of prologue thing like the North Yankton heist from the beginning of GTA 5, assuming this is sort of part of the gameplay, heists are back, bank robberies are back, we're back with that kind of gameplay. I wonder how it's evolved, I wonder how it's improved. I think there is a lot of places for it to improve, and I think there's a lot there. So this has been a lot, and I just want to very, very quickly, we can move on to the next scene really quickly. It's literally half a second, and it's just Jason and Lucia having an intimate moment together. I don't think that this particular scene requires an entire video, so just very briefly to talk about it. Obviously, the love between these two characters, the relationship between these two characters, is going to be incredibly important for this story. This is a story from the very first trailer. Lucia was saying things like, the only way this is going to work is if we trust each other. Trust is the most important thing, and Jason repeats, yes, trust. So it's very clear that these two people are linked. Now, there's been a lot of, connections to Bonnie and Clyde, things like that, and it's very plausible that this is, in fact, a sort of modern telling of Bonnie and Clyde. Not for nothing, but the actual release date that Rockstar has slated of May 26th is actually the anniversary of Bonnie and Clyde's funeral. So I'm just saying, I'm just pointing that out, that very clearly we're seeing connections to Bonnie and Clyde, and it's very obvious, it's very clear that Jason and Lucia have a very close relationship. They love each other. They're together. They're in this together. They trust each other. It is all for one and one for all. And so I think this is just showing how important character is going to be in this game. I think it's going to be a much more mature game when it comes to the storytelling techniques. It's not going to be as flippant as Rockstar games may have been in the past. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 showed how mature of a story Rockstar can tell. And when I say mature, I don't mean it's not funny, it's not silly. I just mean it's a sophisticated story, one with many layers, one with many possibilities, and one with sort of a serious tone throughout all of it, saying that there are actually stakes, things actually matter. And I think that these little scenes, these little glimpses of scenes, and there's another one later on in the trailer that we'll gloss over a little bit as well, that just show that this is two people who have a very close relationship, and they're going to work very well together, as we see in this bank robbery clip. So that's about all we have for this video. Who'd have thought that we could take a 2-second video and extend it to 10 minutes? Well, you stuck around till the end. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. What else did you notice? What did I get wrong? Check us out in the next video. Check out our old videos. This is GTA 6 Source. Thanks for watching.